Okay, I don't care how bad your sleep has been lately, you're still not an insomniac. And honestly, you probably don't even need a bunch of sleep tips. What you do need is a different mindset because chances are your sleep isn't broken at all. You're just stuck in the wrong relationship with sleep. And in this video, I'm going to help you shift into what I call the sleep success mindset so that you can stop trying so hard to fix your sleep and finally let your sleep come to you. And if this video resonates with you, I also have a free masterclass on my website where I show you the full strategy behind my sleep success method that I teach my clients. Mindset is one part of it, which is what we're going to dive into in this video. So if you want more after this, make sure to go check that one out. The link is in the description. Now, the most common mistake I see, and the one that I also made for years, is that it's not what you do to try to improve your sleep. It's how you think about it. Sleep isn't something you can force, and yet so many people are subconsciously sabotaging their sleep by obsessing over it. Let me show you what I mean. If you've ever found yourself rushing to get into bed by a certain time, or feeling like the whole night is ruined, even if you're in bed 30 minutes later than you want it to be, that's actually making it harder for your body to fall asleep quickly. Rushing and putting pressure on yourself sends the wrong signal to your brain. It sends the signal to your brain to release cortisol, which is adrenaline, which keeps you awake, and that ends up suppressing your melatonin levels. So the more pressure you put on getting into bed by a certain time, the more alert your body actually becomes. That ends up delaying how quickly you're able to fall asleep. So instead of obsessing over your bedtime, instead it is so much more effective to give yourself what I call a flexible bedtime window. So if normally you're like, I have to be in bed by 10 p.m., instead what you're going to do is you're going to aim to be in bed between like 9:30 and 10:30. And let's say it's already 10:30 and you normally would feel like you're running late to get to bed. And here's what you're going to do if that's the case. It's going to be the most counterintuitive thing ever. I want you to actually go slower. Take your time. Rushing to get to sleep is like an oxymoron. You can't rush to sleep because rushing implies the exact opposite of sleep. So if you feel like you're getting in bed too late, it's not a big deal. Take your sweet time with it. Take your time doing your normal evening routine, wind down, wash your face, brush your teeth, chill out. There is no rush. And this will actually help you get to sleep faster than if you rush trying to get into bed and close your eyes, but now your body is pumping with adrenaline and now you're just tossing and turning for hours, super frustrated. That was a fun one. Okay, so now that brings me to the next thing that I know you're thinking. If I get into bed later, that means I now only have 6 hours until my alarm goes off. This is what happens next. You start counting how many hours are left until you have to wake up in the morning. And that spiral of stress starts the moment that you try to predict how you're going to feel tomorrow based off of what time it is tonight. But here's the thing. You don't actually know. Maybe you'll feel great tomorrow. Maybe it won't even matter. It's actually the stress, thinking about the number of hours of sleep you'll get, that actually makes you feel worse, not the number of hours of sleep itself. So, as much as you can, don't pay attention to the clock at all around the time you're getting into bed. But if you do see the time, because it's kind of inevitable, we have phones, it's like everywhere, it's right in our faces. What you also need to do is start detaching your emotions from whatever the clock says. I now have this relationship with time as something that's kind of arbitrary. For instance, if I'm traveling and I have a really early flight in the morning and I have to get up at like 4 a.m. or something, it doesn't faze me. Before, it would have been like a panic attack and I would have been up all night and gotten zero sleep over it, right? And I'm also not a morning person by any stretch of the imagination. I like to wake up at like 8:30 or 9 a.m., like if I had the option, right? That's my preference. But I'm not attached to these hours on the clock. So if I am up at like 5 or 6 in the morning for something that's going on in my life, I just do it. It's not a big deal to me. And the night before, I'm also not worrying about getting up early either. So you can see how detaching your emotions from what time you see on the clock at night or in the morning can literally change the way you experience your life. Awesome. So now this brings us to the next thing that a lot of people get hung up on, which is having a strict goal for how many hours of sleep you think you need. This one's sneaky because it sounds responsible, right? We've all heard that we're supposed to get 8 hours of sleep a night. But here's the thing about that. Your definition of good sleep might actually be making it harder to sleep. If you believe that anything less than 8 perfect, uninterrupted hours of sleep means that your sleep wasn't good enough or didn't count or isn't good enough to get through the day or whatever, that rigid expectation creates stress in your body. And stress sucks away all the good vibes, and it just makes you feel worse for no reason. What ends up happening is you fall short of your goal. You got 7.5 hours, and then you immediately start thinking, oh, tomorrow or today is going to be a disaster. That mindset puts your nervous system into a stressed and reactive state before you even start your day. And what you've been doing is you've been trying to predict the future. Stop doing that. I used to do this. I'm like talking to my past self right now. Some nights you'll get more sleep, and some nights you'll get less sleep. And that's okay. And there's going to be times when you slept plenty and had a rough day. And there's going to be times where you barely slept and had a great day. The number of hours you sleep does not determine how your day is going to go. So the more you have more of an optimistic mindset on this, the more you'll end up actually surprising yourself. It's not just about the number of hours. It's about how you respond mentally that makes the biggest difference in how you feel. When my sleep finally transformed, it wasn't because I followed some perfect routine. It wasn't because I followed all the sleep hygiene rules, which I didn't follow any of them. And it definitely wasn't because I found some fancy sleep supplement blend. It was because I changed the way that I related to sleep. And here's what I now know and what I teach my clients. Sleep is not something that you chase. It's something that you allow. It's something that comes to you when you're not actually looking for it. You're also not an insomniac. You've just been thinking that you're an insomniac. Once I stopped identifying as someone who can't sleep and started trusting that my body already knew how to sleep, that is when my sleep improved the fastest. And if you want to go even deeper into this identity shift and get back to sleeping like your old self again, go watch this video right here. It's called Break the Insomnia Identity, and it'll help you really anchor in that sleeping is your natural ability and help you reconnect the part of you that already knows how to sleep.